we need more movies like this. We need more sexual, adult, just like dramas. Like we don't get enough of those lately. And I just, after I saw this film, I was just like, give me more.
Spectacular. Give me 14 of them right now.
Really? Do you know what's in here?
I don't care. Don't tell me.
And you know, she's perfectly human. She just wants some Botox and some hair Dickinson. And that's understandable. Hello, everyone. I am back again from the Toronto International Film Festival, here to give you a review of Baby Girl, starring Nicole Kidman and Harris Dickinson, and what I think might have been my favorite film at the entire festival. So, for those of you who don't know, Baby Girl is about a high-powered CEO played by Nicole Kidman who puts her career and family on the line when she begins a torrid affair with a much younger intern played by Harris Dickinson. Guys, I love this movie. This is my new obsession. I am just every night when I go to bed, I think about Baby Girl. Every morning when I wake up, I think about Baby Girl. When I'm eating my breakfast, I think about Baby Girl. When I'm eating my lunch, I think about Baby Girl. When I'm eating my dinner, I think about Baby Girl. When I'm eating my midnight snack, I think about Baby Girl. I'm obsessed. And out of all the movies that I saw at TIFF, I think this one easily had like the best audience reactions going on throughout the whole film. Like the film just had a grasp on the audience. That was just easily the best audience experience throughout the entire festival. And I saw nearly 20 films at that festival. And this one, also my last one, which was a nice way to end it, but this one easily had the best reactions. It was the most laughing I heard at a screening, to the point where I missed some of the lines even, and I need to rewatch it because I need to hear every word. There were many gasps at the different twists and turns this film takes. There was one scene in particular where a certain person entered the frame out of focus in the background, and you could just hear the audience collectively gasp and like inhale this sharp breath. It was just like, it was almost like to the levels of like in Challengers when like that level of gasp and like because it was just so much fun to watch. It doesn't go where you think it's going to go. It's very unexpected, but the twists, they're not even twists, but the turns that the story takes just makes perfect sense. My audience, and I hope it happens for everyone's audience, but yeah, the audience in this screening was glued to the screen. They were entranced, they were scared, they were titillated, unsure of what's going to happen next. Because yeah, like I said, trust me, no scene in this film is going to go the way you expect it. There would be multiple scenes, pretty much every scene. At the beginning of the scene, I'd be like, oh, okay, I know how this is going to probably end up going. And let me tell you, every single time I was wrong, and happily wrong, because the turns it takes are so juicy. Helena Rain is just a director to keep an eye on, in particular for like the younger generation between Bodies. And this, I think this has a very almost like Gen Z-ish perspective, especially with the Harris Dickinson character, on sex and like brashiness combined with like social acuteness and awareness. But yeah, she just masterfully crafts like a sexy, funny, entertaining, enrapturing, erotic drama, thriller, everything.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique, completely not ever been done before, unafraid to reference or not reference, put it in a blender, shit on it.
About like female desire, power dynamics, sexual liberation, all of that stuff, and even more. And it's all handled like, so those are some topics that could be considered a little controversial. I don't think so, at least for me, but I guess to some people. But it's all handled very, both like boldly, but also like delicately. The attraction between Nicole Kidman's character and Harris Dickinson's character is immediately evident from the start of the film, with their glances at each other from across the room, until Harris Dickinson's character engineers this way for him to get them in this alone in the same room together through like this intern mentor program that her company is doing. And then things really take off from there, and I'll just leave it at that. And yes, a big part of the attraction between the two is obviously sexual, but I think it's clear that even more so than that, the power dynamic is kind of the big turn on for both of them, and not in the way that you would expect given their power dynamics at the company. Kidman is this corporate giant during the day who holds power over everyone, pretty much is like the top dog, but has this hidden desire to be more subservient at night, let's say. And Dickinson plays like a fascinating character in this. Like, I still don't have a read on him. He's a very perceptive but like enigmatic intern who like notices this desire from Nicole Kidman's character almost immediately from the first second he sees her. He sees that there's something going on deep down there, and he jumps at the opportunity. And I'm going to use that as a jumping off point to talk about Dickinson's character and performance in this film. It's delicious. I don't even know how to describe it because I still don't have, like I said, a read on his character. He's very complex and he's hard to read throughout the entire film. Even at the end, I'm not completely sure because he's not like this smooth, debonair, like seducer, but he's also not like this naive young intern. He's somewhere in the middle. He's in the gray area, and there are moments where he leans more one way and then the other. Like there were moments where I was genuinely shocked by how confident and commanding he was over Nicole Kidman's Romy, her CEO character. And then there were moments where I was kind of surprised by how like awkward and like bumbling he was with her in certain scenes. Like there's layers to him. But yeah, it's a beguiling performance, I guess, is maybe the word I would use. An unpredictable character. He plays a big part in what keeps the audience guessing and all the turns happening because you just don't know what he's going to do. You have just no clue what is going on with him. And it's that's kind of like part of, I think, what makes you get Nicole Kidman's appeal to him. Obviously, he's Harris Dickinson, so you like don't need to understand it that much. Um, but the unpredictability of his character is very alluring, and it might be the best work I've seen from Harris Dickinson so far. It's fantastic stuff. Now on to Nicole Kidman. I think that this is one of her bravest and best performances ever. Honestly, she starts out obviously as this CEO, as this like more proper, stringent like businesswoman, and as the affair continues, you begin to kind of, and the affair continues. Her infatuation with Samuel intensifies alongside like the danger of this relationship and what could potentially happen if like it becomes public. So as all of that intensifies throughout the film, we begin to see her kind of unravel from this more stringent businesswoman into this more unrestrained, looser version of herself who's like willing to walk through the pouring rain just to get a glimpse of his character, Harris Dickinson's character at work, or like dancing at the club, which you would have never thought you would have seen her character do at the beginning. And she just truthfully carries her character throughout this whole arc that not a single ounce of it feels false. It all feels very real, and relatable as well. I just love how imperfect she is as a character. And Helena Rain smartly decides to not like psychoanalyze Nicole Kidman's character and be like, this is why she's like this is why she has these desires, or like tell the audience whether or not you should be happy for her, or like whether or not her decisions are like freeing and liberating or like reckless and ill-advised. And they don't tell you how you should feel about her decisions or how you should, whether or not you should, like I said, be happy for her. She completely leaves that up to you to decide. And I think that's just very smart rather than like writing it out for the audience. In terms of the other performances in this film, Antonio Banderas is great as Nicole Kidman's husband in this film. He doesn't have a ton to do. He has like good scenes with her throughout. He has a great scene with her towards the end where he like kind of loses it, and he's phenomenal in that scene. He's great throughout the whole film, but that's obviously like his standout scene. He's Antonio Banderas, of course. He's great. It's I just still cannot like whenever I see his like even when I see his face, but whenever I hear his voice, I just still only like see Puss in Boots. So it was funny seeing like Puss in Boots in these scenarios. It was weird, but it was funny. And yeah, then Oscar chances for this film I can quickly touch on. I feel like kind of like the first man to walk on the moon. I was the Me and Anthony were the first to think of this as a potential awards thing. Not to brag, but kind of bragging. I think this is kind of Nicole Kidman or bust, honestly, at this point. But even then, I feel pretty good about her getting in. I'm surprised by how few people have her in their predictions. It kind of just makes sense to me, especially given how up in the air this year's Best Actress race is. Um, One, she's incredible in this film. I think it's, like I said, one of her bravest and best performances. She's great in it. She's a force of nature in it. She won the Volpe Cup for Best Actress, which is huge. The film is getting glowing, amazing reviews with her at the center of all of them. She's A24's only push in this category in lead actress. She's Nicole frickin' Kidman. Everyone loves her. And yeah, I think also in the Best Actress race this year, there's not a ton of like Academy favorites or like Academy veterans, established people. It's really what just Kidman and Adams. I can't really think of anyone else. I know Jolie has an Oscar, but I don't really consider her like a veteran or a favorite. It's not like she's around every few or so years, kind of like a Kidman or an Adams or like a Benning last year or a Streep, people like that who are like people who the Academy just loves. And I think Nicole Kidman is one of those, and she kind of fulfills that slot, which we have most years this year. I don't know. I feel pretty good about her getting nominated. I think she's also win competitive, um, just because there's no clear front runner right now. I could see that happening, but I'm not going to fully commit to that. But I can see it. So I would suggest having her in your predictions at this point. Um, Screenplay, I would love to see that for Helena Rain. Original is more of an open field than adapted right now, so it's possible. I wouldn't do it right now, but it is still possible. Then Harris Dickinson would be great. I don't know if they would probably run him in supporting, I would guess. I would personally nominate him, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So, yeah, in conclusion, Baby Girl fucks in many ways, in pretty much all the ways. And I think you should all see it immediately when it comes out in theaters in December. And I think you should all log it 5 stars on Letterboxd. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Baby Girl. Like the video if you liked it, I guess. Subscribe for more TIFF reviews upcoming, as well as award stuff, obviously. And comment your thoughts on your thoughts on the film down below. If you've seen it or if you haven't, how excited you are on a scale of 1 to 10, and the answer should be 11. Yeah, goodbye. There's a whole minute in this film where Harris Dickinson dances shirtless, in case you needed to know. I think that's vital information for the audience to know.